Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to do a segment that was uplifting, but I just can't find a segment that's really uplifting right now when there's so many stories that are being swept under the rug, suppressed, and really not talked about. So, this is a story that I just saw today, and I should be up on these things. You probably haven't heard about this because guess what? It doesn't fit the narrative of the big, bad, mean Trump supporter, okay? Jussie Smollett had to literally fabricate a crime. And you had two political operatives in 2016 resign within the Democratic Party for fomenting violence at Trump rallies. Now you have a story here, and then you might have an even greater example within the past year of operatives fomenting chaos and mayhem. You can look at Thomas Massey's representative, his Twitter profile. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook. The one thing you should do this year if you want to have a New Year's resolution is get off of Twitter, delete it, get off of Facebook, get off of social media. First and foremost, Happy New Year. Have a safe, healthy, beautiful, Happy New Year. Focus on happiness and health and joy. Laughter, happiness, be happy. Remember those days when you could be happy in life and everything wasn't sensationalized? And, you know, there's this movie, Don't Look Up. We don't face a meteor. Everything is a meteor to one political side. The Democratic Party makes everything. They've Trump-Russia'd our existence. But if you can ignore media and you can ignore the sensationalized coverage of you-know-what, just to understand, if you're healthy, you're happy, you're fine. And you should be very appreciative if you have loved ones. And if you're going through a tough time, God bless you. Remember that everybody's gone through a tough time. Everybody, me, everybody. The whole planet has. You'll get through it, and there's always something better waiting for you. There's always something better in the future for you. You just have to kind of think and remember that any tough time that you're going through, if you just look beyond what you're seeing, focus on something positive in the future, something you love, something that makes you feel good, that's healthy and legal and safe, a hobby, painting, poetry, athletics, working out, focus on that, and you will see that, whatever, down doldrums that you're going through, you can get out of that. Easier said than done, but that's just one idea to get out of any negative state. But focus on happiness, and unfortunately, I have to tell you about this really horrendous story. Clinton supporter sentenced. Now, the Daily Mail has it right. Clinton supporter sentenced for ending woman's life during argument over 2016 election. NBC News says man sentenced for ending a woman's life during argument over 2016 election. NBC News knows very well that if they say Clinton supporter, the narrative then switches to, well, I don't know many Trump supporters who've ended anyone's life. Now, obviously, I do a lot of segments on Alec Baldwin, ending the cinematographer's life. The articles will be below. Hillary Clinton supporter 40 is sentenced to 35 years for ending a woman's life as she's holding her toddler after her husband teased him about voting for the Democrat. Okay, John McVoy, 40, was sentenced after being found guilty of ending Susan Garcia's life, 33, in January of 2017. Okay? This man ended her life as she was holding her toddler. This is a person who voted for Hillary Clinton. This is not a Southern California man has been sentenced to 35 years in prison for ending his garage bandmate's wife as she held her toddler son in her arms during a heated argument over the 2016 presidential election. Okay, he voted for Hillary Clinton. McVoy pulled a firearm after he was teased for saying he had voted for Hillary Clinton. And so you have a wonderful Clinton supporter, Democrat, ending someone's life, and I'm not really explaining it in the manner that, just for YouTube guidelines, you can read the article below in the Daily Mail and in NBC News. But this year, going into that, I wanted to find something uplifting, but you know what? I want to also talk about things that media doesn't address or discuss. This is, of course, a horrible tragedy, a terrible tragedy where somebody on the left, a Democrat, a person who voted for Hillary Clinton, had to end someone's life. So you have Jussie Smollett, who literally fabricates a crime. You have this horrible monster who ended a woman's life holding her toddler because he voted for Hillary Clinton and the husband said, get out of here. And he shot the husband, okay, tried to end his life, but he survived. Thank God. But so you have a situation where media's not talking about this. Where are the blue check marks on Twitter talking about this? And so you have a situation where all you hear is the unhinged, oh my God, the horrible monsters who are Trump supporters. And these stories are more frequent than you think, and they're more egregious than anything that any average Trump supporter has done. Where can you find this type of, where can you find the reverse? You're not going to be able to do so. And if the reverse took place, heaven forbid, you would get endless coverage. Where is the argument where somebody voted for Trump and then ended a Clinton, ended a supporter of his opponent's lives right there? I'm trying to speak in roundabout terms for the YouTube guidelines. Okay, you are not going to find that. Because if that did happen, it would be non-stop, wall-to-wall coverage. And that's what media does. They lie by omission. So remember this for the coming year. They lie by omission. They emphasize the stories that bolster their political ideology. They suppress and ignore the stories that undermine their political viewpoints and biases and ideology. That's why the lies and the deceitful narratives, that's how they communicate these disingenuous, deceitful, conniving narratives. They only focus on stories that are detrimental to Trump. If it's Bette Midler disparaging all the people of West Virginia, it's just, she was upset, she said sorry. If it's a Trump supporter saying something about a state or, oh my God, this bigotry, this horrible person, this is an indication of how horrible Trump's ideology is. But the Daily Mail article is below, and there's also the NBC News article. But just remember something. You have too much to live for. So do I, to get into an argument with somebody on the street or even a friend. Do not argue with anyone. Do not. This year, even on Twitter, even on Facebook, even on social media, even if you meet somebody on the street, a friend of yours, if they are going to argue with you, first of all, they can't handle any information, facts, dialogue, reason, discourse, debate, discussion that undermines their hysterical narrative on anything. If you try to give people context, it could be about you know what, it could be about last January, it could be about anything. The people who watch MSNBC and the other station that's produced by really horrible people, apparently, to a second one for the same despicable, diabolical conduct, being arrested anyway. If you're in a position where you have to debate a morally superior liberal, if you have the choice between doing that and running into a brick wall, go ahead and run into a brick wall. I'm actually joking. Don't do that. But you know what I mean. Do not debate anyone, because you see this Hillary Clinton supporter, 35 years for ending a woman's life holding a toddler. People on primarily to the left of center, they're of course to the right of center, there are unhinged people too. There are unhinged people of all backgrounds or ideologies. On the right too, as well. There are unhinged Republicans or conservatives or Trump supporters. The greatest number of unhinged are among the morally superior. They're capable of literally anything. I've seen it with my own eyes as well. They're capable of anything, people. So this coming year, protect yourself. Do not get into any debate, discussion, discourse, dialogue with any political side, any ideology to the left of center, and honestly, even if they agree with you here and there, it's like, don't get into a debate with a morally superior liberal Democrat. Okay? They're liable to call, leave a message at the FBI hotline. He said that Biden passed gas. And you know what? It's like, okay, well, this person is completely out of it. Which according to news reports, but anyway. Give me your thoughts below. Do not debate anyone this coming year, or even in 2023. Don't get into political arguments. Politics, religion, and money is three things you never talked about. When I was growing up, you never talked about those things at the dinner table. How many dinners have been ruined by apoplectic, hysterical, morally superior liberal buffoons? And how many dinners have been ruined by, conservatives? More dinners have been ruined by the apoplectic, hysterical, morally superior on the left. But there are dinners ruined by both political sides. But it's the MSNBC crowd that you just don't speak to them about it. They're capable of literally anything. Okay? If you're a Trump supporter, you're watching this channel. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I used to be the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. They do it to Bernie Sanders supporters too, or actual supporters. Not now. They're all just liberal Democrats who pretend to be Bernie Sanders supporters. Don't debate anyone about politics this coming year, or about what, or about anything, online or social media. Get off social media. It's a scourge, that's an actual scourge upon humanity. God bless you. Stay safe. Every day in Los Angeles, in Southern California, every day, I'm cognizant and aware that the most bizarre things could take place, and then I have to protect myself and keep myself in the right frame of mind. Never get into a situation with anyone that you don't have to get into. If you're on the bus, you're on the subway, you're in an Uber, it doesn't matter where, someone says something about Trump and somebody tries to disparage you in terms of politics or whatever, tries to debate you about what or anything. Don't engage. Don't discuss. The Pyrrhic victory is not worth it. It's not worth, having a discussion or debate with Aunt Gladys on Facebook so she could tell you how, I'm going to make sure you're disowned from the will because you voted for Trump. Okay. I mean, it's not worth they're capable of anything. Okay. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. God bless you. Stay safe. Have a great evening. And again, you have a lot more to worry about in terms of staying safe than just what. Okay? You have to watch out who you speak to, who your friends are, who you hang out with, because your future will be who you interact with. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. I will have segments up tomorrow on the Stock Market Crash channel below in the pinned comment. We're going to have a devastating stock market crash in 2022. Hit subscribe there. To my new Patreons, thank you. I cannot thank you enough, people. You allow my voice and my work to continue always. Your Patreon support is extremely important. Thanks, everybody. God bless. I'll have a segment right before about 11 p.m. tonight.